me just fasten up this tight ponytail.
You're on a high pony. Quick.
This is the best it's gonna be. Truly, like, I'm shrugging. This just has to work. You guys.
We took in so much footage today.
There's a lot of content. We did wake up from a nap just now because...
And we're not sure which of us is the weaker person for napping yet, but we will hash it out over at least 25 minutes. Just all scream at the same time over our microphones.
That's right. So, where to begin? I actually want to start the
Raven's
episode
orgasm.
like this.
Do we wake up again or what?
If the greats can nap, then so can we. Basically, we start with
Raven's first orgasm.
the most horribly wonderful montage of Raven, like, I used to think maybe you loved me, now baby I'm sure.
I feel like that's something you would do.
Absolutely. I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, and don't it feel good?
As I can't sing, I contribute only leg.
In legs.
Leg
And
choreography.
Oh, the leg work is high up there for
Masterful.
importance. Masterful.
Almost as important as the vocals.
Almost as important as a lady orgasm on TV. You know,
Sure.
I gotta give it to her.
You know what though? We just had her like skipping and dancing through the snow, but we never really confirmed that he did what she said might have happened. And no way he gave her an orgasm, and let me tell you why.
Please.
His body's great, but he doesn't strike me as someone with like a range of motion.
He doesn't strike me as someone who
He's a
would...
Ken doll.
Ooh. I don't think he would give a shit about whether or not she finished.
Exactly.
I
But
don't
on
think that he
top of
cares.
that, the range of motion isn't there.
Why do you
I
think
want to
that?
circle back to that. Have you seen him dance? Just like insert the footage from the wedding. Like it's very
Not a lot of
horrible.
hips. Not a lot
And
of
if you
hips.
haven't seen him dance, tune in 2 weeks to Sing with the Stars.
Yeah, he'll be on Dance with the Stars in 2 weeks' time, and then we can really test out that
I bet
theory.
you fuckers thought that his time on ABC was over. Plot twist!
Not quite. Okay, so anyways, she had an orgasm. I don't think she did because he can't be that good in the boudoir. He's too, like, fixated on his own bod. And
You're right.
someone who goes on Dance with Stars, I don't think is just someone that, like, cares about a girl coming. Yeah.
I mean, you close your eyes, you remember he was on it, and you'll never come again.
That's right. And then he just slays. He just, like, plows through 3 girls in 1 day or 3 days, and I think he just has himself a fucking time. So he goes on a date with Rachel.
I mean, the only thing that really happened is she was like, I am very careful with my feelings, and he's like, but what do you feel? And she's like, my feelings are precious to me. He's like, but if you were to listen to your feelings, what do they say to you?
And
she
in
was
3
like,
words.
Yeah.
3 specific words.
And like the last one sounds like Dove, a sponsor of the show.
You know that scene in Little Mermaid I was saying when Ursula puts that spell on Ariel and then she's forced to sing so that she takes the voice? That's what it looked like. He was like, what are the words? And she was like,
I love you.
and he was like, you're going home.
Yeah. It hurt. It still hurt. I knew she was going to be the Bachelorette, but
Sucks.
watching her get hurt me.
Steam soak with Vanessa. And they give her 2 blue bathing suits that were just...
asexual as can be.
That's right.
Oh,
I just couldn't believe that her nips weren't razor sharp enough to, like, cut through her bathing suit. Like, it is cold out there, you know? Not
and they
enough
tried
sight.
3 times. I would have been like, I can fit a heave-ho. That was enough.
What I thought was most interesting was she was just like, listen, I obviously am, like, Italiano, soprano style, family comes first. I carve out 3 hours every Sunday to eat, I'm sure, a great spread. But it is 3 hours. We saw part of it,
and we watched people eat it.
Looked good.
Yeah.
But it is 3 hours, which is a pretty big chunk of time. Yeah. And it's in Montreal. And it's in a suburb of Montreal. So, like, something that probably should have been discussed 3 weeks ago, but, like, is what I need to
That's a deal breaker that's coming up for the first time.
For sure. But alas, this was, like, the second last weekend, and she was like, hey, buddy, I got to stay home.
Yeah.
And then the fact that she even asked if he would come. He's like, look at me. I am on a contract deal with ABC.
To be on Dancing with the Stars. Do you think our dancing money is going to reach all the way to Canada?
And then we go to art. Put simply, Was I leaning in? Yeah, I was.
Sure was.
Because the Women Tell All was good. I'd say it was the best yet. There were so many
guest stars that I just didn't recognize. I was like, Whitney who? Astrid what?
People I didn't remember.
More other people.
That
I completely forgot about Liz.
Same.
They're like, you're not a slut, you're a humanitarian. I was like, who?
Wait, but we're
remembers
jumping. We're jumping.
You're right.
Let's talk about, there's a girl that I actually had no idea existed, and she had a wave, she had a contour, she had a bright pink lip, a 2-part sequined diamond dress.
The psychology major, is that who you're referring to?
I guess. She definitely had her POV, and she made it clear. And I don't know who she is, and I never will, but power to you for being here.
She also looks like a clown. Like, when you set the under eye region, you brush the powder off.
Not her. Not her.
No, she's trailblazing.
We start with, I want to say the Corinne and Taylor thing.
We do Liz, who really cares.
Like, the thing is, what we all subtext was like, did you come here for just publicity? Because, like, you could have reached out and you didn't. And she was like, this show is a clean slate. And it's like, but like,
a June text, around this.
A March 15th text, you know, like that could have done the job.
Yeah.
And then she gave this whole like pro-women speech about like not slut-shaming, and like I'm all for it, but I feel like...
didn't think that was the narrative.
I agree. And it's like no one cared about you having sex with him. It was like,
why are
us,
you here?
It's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Obviously he didn't come on the show a virgin, and neither did anyone else. But it's like, you use the show for a reason, that's what I wanted you to touch on, and obviously it was avoided. So we move on to Tay Tay and Cece. And here's what I have to say. I find that neither of them are emotionally mature at all.
I completely agree.
Corinne, first of all, you have managed to make yourself, like, your immaturity and your stupidity at times has given you a career. Like, you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be on your side. Everyone's wearing bedazzled shirts with things that you have said. I've actually never seen someone so quoted as much as she
built a career out of the, like, dislikability of Taylor.
That's right.
Like, people aren't like, I love Curry, and they're like, but I hate Taylor.
Yeah, but also, like, it was kind of her promiscuity.
Yeah, I guess.
Because there's, like, My Vagine's Platinum, like, you know, like, a lot of what made her famous was, like, her getting drunk and, like, making moves. Mm-hmm. And, like, grabbing her tits and, like, sloshing through wine and, like, talking about her nanny.
It's pretty fucked up that that's always who the villain is. They're like, you're a sexually confident woman, you're the villain this season.
That's right. That's totally what it is. And also, she happened to be, like, very white and privileged and had a nanny. And though that cancer story was, like, okay, like, you are giving us sympathy, the truth is, whether that's true or not, I still feel as though, like, for someone who is, like, so important in your life, she still is, like, a servant to your family.
Raquel.
Like, Raquel. Like, in that scene where where she's having dinner, the hometown thing, like, Raquel isn't seated with the family. She's serving them dinner. She cleans up with them. No one helps. Like...
She's paid to be there.
She's paid to be there.
Ultimately, if you stop paying her, Raquel would go back to New Jersey.
Anyways, I just felt that was, like, upsetting for someone that you have on such a high... Pedestal.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just me. But we can respect having someone like that in your life.
There was, like, any resolution to Taylor and Corinne fighting?
No, not at all.
Did you want to see a resolution to it?
No.
At the end of the day, like, they were like, women should be lifting each other up. I was like, for sure, but just leave these two alone.
I agree. I find that, like, they are both 23. They're 24 third day. Yeah. And, like...
They don't ever have to see each other again.
They don't need to see each other again. And also, they're both gross. Like, as much as I am more Team Corinne because she's not... she's just more self-aware. Like, she knows who she is. She knows when she's, like, a piece of shit, drunk... confident, promiscuous, like, privileged person, and Taylor, like, is on a high horse. That's where I'll give them that.
That's where you'll draw the line.
Yeah. And I did want Taylor to admit that Corinne was just instigated. Like, the only reason she was saying all those horrible things to Taylor was because Taylor was like, you're a dumb bitch. And she was like, well, let me respond to that.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have anything else to say about Taylor and Kareem?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Me either.
But it was hard at times because there was so much like crosstalk and screaming going on, and it was like la 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 la, one person at a time.
So many girls just spoke when they wanted to.
Also, they wore what they wanted to. Like Josephine, like mustard velvet with a harsh plum lip is a choice.
A choice.
Yeah.
And she happened to be the only one who was Team Cece.
Well,
they
Jasmine
had a very blonde. Oh, and Jasmine really came in.
Jasmine, like, really circled around after. She's like, I see what you're saying now, and, like, yeah, Taylor, you should shut the fuck up. Jasmine was the voice of the people, I felt.
I felt that
like, she would always, like, loudly chime in, and I'd be like, she's saying what I'm thinking.
Next is Xtini.
Yeah.
Lipstick eater.
Just, like, talking about her struggle, opening up. I feel like it was just very, like, immigration can be okay. Look at how much it has helped this woman. Like, what else did you eat?
Did you eat blush? Did you eat deodorant? Like, how hard were times?
Deodorant. That would be, like,
gritty.
Tasty. That would
and
stay
also,
with you
I
all
feel like
day.
it would really dry out the mouth. Suck all the moisture.
Sure would.
I mean, she did obviously have a very hard time growing up. And I'm proud of her journey. And I'm proud that she'll represent, like, what is it? The cross-cultural global platform of Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
I don't know how important that is. And then Nick comes on, right?
Yeah.
And he's confronted by Christina first, who, like, you feel for, you know?
Yeah. She was like,
and then before,
I don't understand. Like, we had a great time. Like
she
even
say
asked
yes
him.
or no to all these questions. And he said yes to all of them. She was like, do you love me? And she, whatever, all these things.
And, like, I get it, but in his defense, when he was like, it wasn't really about you, which is always a shitty thing, but he's like, it was about, like, the way I felt with, like, the other girls. Like, yeah, that's a pretty clear indicator. To be like, you know what, like, do like you, but also, like, I don't know, I just don't see them together. She's so much more, like, she's of so much more substance.
I agree.
He's, like, sitting there being like, I like the color blue.
Right. I would never get closure on this show. Like, can't you, like, slide in his DMs or something?
Yeah.
He'll probably respond. Because he's not going to give you a real answer. He'll always say the connections are strong with other women because that has nothing to do with you. What's he going to say?
That is the safest TV answer.
That's right. Before she could get a true answer, Vanessa's like, can I just have the floor for a second? And then, like, breaks down.
Yeah.
Before sweet ex-Tina can get a full response from him.
She's
but can you tell me what's wrong with me? I was like, this is the most real you've ever been.
So long as I've heard you go without laughing.
That's right. Where are the soft giggles?
Yeah,
I'm confused.
Don't belong at all.
That's right. Where are the ill-fitting chuckles that don't make sense? Shark Girl admitted to being in the friend zone. I think that
and also being
a
shark and not a dolphin.
So that was groundbreaking.
Almost more importantly.
Almost more important than any subject that we've spoken about. Oh, Bachelorette Ray Ray comes on.
Yeah.
She looks fucking good, okay?
She looks really good.
She looks clean, fresh. She's wearing like a soft pesh, lilac. I don't know, she's just like, I know I'm black, but also like, I'm also just trying to find love like everyone else. And we're like...
Yeah, I agree.
And then Nick came on and he was like, you'll be great. And she's like, I know. And we're like, yeah, she knows. She's fine.
She's like, I'm not going to end up with a fucking server from Vegas like you will, dumb fuck.
Here are my final statements. I think he'll end up alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll end up alone because he's not going to Montreal, and I don't think the connection with Raven is strong enough. I think that he'll be on Dance with the Stars in 2 weeks, and I think he's doing that on purpose because for him to end this show single, he needs more steam. And even if he does end up with Raven or ends up with, what's her name?
Vanessa.
They're going to break up in a couple months. I mean...
Max.
I
give the milk in the fridge longer.
That's right.
And on that note...
And honestly, like...
Good night.
Sweet dreams to all, and to all a good snooze.
Hit subscribe.
Oh yeah, oh god. Subscribe. We're napping, but we're very much alert with anxiety.
Yeah.
We're almost at 500 subscribers.
Have we faded from the public consciousness? Perhaps.
The zeitgeist?
Subscribe.
Perhaps. The pulse? Maybe. But we could get 30 more subscribers within the next week, and that's a challenge we are giving to you. God bless. Good night. See you next week.